Hello friends, how are you? Today I wanted to try to help you decide on the purchase of which sander model will suit you best. An orbital or a roto-orbital. So let's hear it. Well, I'm not going to make a comparison. A dispute, so to speak, between the two, because they are in different categories. So I'm going to try to start talking a little about each of them, about the characteristics of each of them. I'll talk first about orbital, the popular square, or treme. Well, its main characteristic is that it oscillates its list, vibrates. Its base vibrates due to movements here inside. It transforms into vibrations. It works with normal sandpaper. So, these are sheets of sandpaper that you buy. And it can be a quarter of a sandpaper like this one, which are pieces like this, look. Or a third. That depends a little on the size. The sandpaper is attached by a clip to all models. They are like this. The type of clip differs a little, but that's basically it. I'm going to list and leave you all the advantages and disadvantages of it, according to what I was able to gather in terms of information. Well, here are the advantages and disadvantages on the screen for you. This is an orbital route, and it has two distinct movements. The disc rotates, and at the same time it makes oscillating movements, like the orbital. So it works with two types of movement. That's why it's more efficient. Its disc is held in place by velcro. You will buy discs appropriate for the size, be it 125 or 150 millimeters in diameter. It depends a little on your model. But in general, she is a slightly more aggressive machine. In the case of Bosch Makita also has a model like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think Itachi also has a model that has speed control. Back here, they have a speed control, something that none no orbital has. They have a control here, which helps a lot. Some vital rotor models do not have this control. The vast majority of them, they don't have the cheapest ones. They generally don't have this control. Of course, I'll leave it to you now. A list of the advantages and disadvantages of the orbital route. Well, in conclusion, who would I recommend one model or another to? I would recommend the orbital to a person who will work almost exclusively with MDF and with thought. Why? In fact, it doesn't have much of a grinding characteristic, although you can put some sandpaper, or that it still won't thin very well. So it really isn't good for wood and MDF. And plywood, we usually only work with fine sandpaper. Generally above 150 that we will work with this type of material. Another feature of it is for those who don't want to spend money and don't want to have doubts. From the head to get sandpaper, any door, wherever you go, you'll find a sheet of sandpaper like this one to buy. whatever model you want. This one has a wet sandpaper, I just took it as an example. And the cost of its consumable, the cost of the abrasive is lower. So it's a sander that has a lower operating cost. Who would I recommend an orbital root to then? I would recommend the orbital root for those who are going to work regardless of the raw material, regardless of whether you are going to work with MDF, plywood paint. Anyway, steel, automotive paint, it doesn't matter. The orbital root will serve you well, especially if it has speed control, because it can go from roughing to polishing. You can even do automotive polishing with a sander like this. It works perfectly. However, its abrasive is more difficult. If you're going to buy sandpaper here, you won't find it just anywhere. And we have a very serious problem with the sandpaper that we find in most stores. They are from Norton, and it is a list that is not adhering, especially in this Bosch model. It is not holding. The sandpaper simply comes out of the tool, so it is a problem. But for those looking for performance, for those who need a tool that is a little more versatile, I would recommend an orbital sander. For me, without a doubt, today, it is the best sander that suits me of the two models. It is the orbital sander. And so, for those who need performance, for those who need roughing, polishing, sanding, automotive paint, orbital sander. Okay guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it and that this video helps to clarify this doubt a little when you buy it. A hug to everyone and see you in the next video.